What happened? Did you finish it?
I got here as soon as I could.
Did you complete your mission?
Fuck that. I don't know how the fuck Tom Cruise does this shit.
He's got people to do it for him.
My God, man. I'm only 36 and I almost fucking passed out. Holy shit. Tom Cruise, God bless you. Oh, man.
Good thing you're not a federal agent because you would have died on day one.
Welcome, everybody, to a brand new movie review where we talk about Mission Impossible Fallout. I believe number 6 in the franchise here.
You shouldn't have gone that far.
Well, we'll talk about it. Now, this was one of the big summer releases that definitely people were interested in checking out. Where do you want to start with this movie, sir?
I gotta point out, I gotta make this known before you guys even object to it. I have not, personally, I like the first Mission Impossible movie, even the second one, maybe bits of the third one. After that, I just thought, like, what's the point of keep making more of these?
So you just dropped out?
I just think it's boring after time. You know he's gonna win every time. There's no big loss for him.
In some ways, yes, I guess you're right. I guess, you know...
I'm all right.
It is predictable in a certain way, so you're not wrong. I mean, for me, I like that element. I like Tom Cruise. This is the perfect role for Tom Cruise, I feel like.
I just feel like every movie, it just gets kind of shorter and cheaper in some way.
Like how, you think?
Like storyline, it gets kind of boring-ish for me. I mean, of course, there's some bad guy, he's gonna do something wrong, you know, he's there to stop it, blah, blah, blah.
Well, yeah, and this is no different. I mean, you've got, of course, Tom Cruise back as Ethan Hunt.
Haven't killed his ass yet.
You've got Ving Rhames back as Luther. He's been in all of them as well.
I like Ving Rhames as an actor, but
Ving is awesome.
I felt like he didn't have the same flair as he did in like the first two movies.
Not as much flair, but I still love him in this. You also get Rebecca Ferguson back from the last movie as well.
I didn't get the chance to see the last. I saw bits and pieces, small bits and pieces of the last film.
She was great in that. You also get Simon Pegg in here as well.
I don't got no problem with him because he's the tech guy, you know.
Yeah, he's a tech guy.
Without the tech guy, Ethan Hunt is pretty much
absolutely not. Come on. And you got that. You also have Alec Baldwin back from the last movie as well. God, you have so many really... Vanessa Kirby, yes. You got her.
I don't know what else I've seen her in, but...
Oh, she's been in other stuff. I'm blanking right now. You've got her. You've got also Henry Cavill, Superman himself.
Don't get me started on him.
And by the way, all you DC fans out there, you wondered why the whole like botched CGI job on Justice League on his lip. This movie answers that question because
I swear to God, there's a part in this movie that looked like he was wearing a hairpiece.
He has got a huge fucking mustache in this movie, and he wears it well. Give Henry Cavill credit. He wears it well.
That's the only thing he does well in this film.
We'll get into that. Yeah, so basically this is, you would have needed to see that last movie to even the last couple movies to really get what's going on in this, because it's definitely a continuation. The bad guy is a continuation from that last movie. Certain elements like Rebecca Ferguson's character, there's a lot of elements that are creeping into this one that was from the last one.
You get a connection to the first film in this one. The White Widow.
Oh, okay, yes, I didn't think about that, but yes, you are right. You get that, and basically, in a nutshell, Ethan in this one, he has to try to stop these people who are trying to basically. They're trying to make peace with the world, but in order to make peace,
you gotta have mass destruction, mass death, and basically that's the only way that they're going to change the world. And Ethan has to stop these people from doing that, finding these nuclear weapons, which he himself lost because he chose to protect his team over actually getting the nuclear weapons. Everybody's telling him he did the wrong thing.
Which I don't know if he did the wrong thing. Personally, I don't.
For me, it depends on every person's moral.
I guess so. For me, I don't think he was wrong, but other people may think did differently. And basically, you have
Henry. I mean, if he didn't make that choice, there would have been no movie, basically, almost.
Yeah, this is a good point too. And Henry Cavill's character comes in from the CIA. to, I believe his character is Walker, and basically he comes in to monitor them, make sure the job gets done, get the nuclear weapons.
Well, they even say right there, he's not some government funky, he's an assassin. I'm like...
Where basically the CIA director basically says, well, you use a scalpel, we use a hammer, and he's the hammer. And...
A weak-ass hammer.
And basically sort of the adventure and everything sort of spins from there. I will admit this. I do think the acting is really good. I think everyone does a good job in the acting department. I think that Tom Cruise, he still has it after all these years. I still feel he does.
It's because you're a Tom Cruise lover.
Well, I am. I'm a Tom Cruise fan. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I am. And I think that this is his best role that I think he inhabits, he owns at this point. This is his franchise, it's his baby.
I've seen better movies with him in it.
Oh, sure, I've seen better movies with him, but I think this character fits him really well, and I think he did a great job. I think Rebecca Ferguson did a great job. I think that all the actors played their parts well. Henry Cavill, I think, did a good job as the assassin.
Yeah, that's your opinion.
I mean, okay, you're disagreeing. I mean, where do you...
I just felt like he was... I mean, it was kind of obvious in the movie where his character was going. I mean, you almost got every clue before it even happened.
There is true. I mean, there are things here that are supposed to be like, oh my God moments, and it is a little bit...
It wasn't even a shocker.
It's not a shocker. Things are kind of telegraphed a little bit. That doesn't mean that the performances are bad. It just means that the storytelling is off.
This guy's supposed to be like a top-notch assassin. Yet, I mean, I understand this other guy that you see in the trailer, they're fighting somebody in a bathroom or they're both...
Yeah, is this like Chinese guy or something?
He's whooping both their asses.
Oh, man, he's kicking ass.
I mean, this guy's supposed to be a top-notch assassin. You figure at least he could go toe-to-toe without either one have the winning edge or whatever.
But
he gets his ass whooped.
But no, look, I mean, in fact, that's a good point to bring up. I think the fight scenes are really good in this movie. I think the fight scenes, whether we're talking about the bathroom scene or whether we're talking about all the chases and the car scenes,
I thought was pretty decent, but a lot of the other action really impressed me that much.
I mean, if you were to compare this to other Mission Impossible movies, I guess.
I thought the first one did a great job.
The first one?
Yes.
The first one. Okay. For me, I feel like every movie has kind of upped the ante, and I feel like this one did the same here
for me, anyway.
For me. I will say this much. Speaking of somebody who does incredible stunts, Tom Cruise, man. He fucking, again, he did a lot of his own stunts here, whether it's like all the...
Sure he did.
No, I'm serious. There's actually featurettes on it. The whole idea of him doing the helicopter stuff. I mean, him hanging off of the helicopter and everything like that. That's actually him.
Well, he's got to do it because he's getting very old now.
Well, he's always done some kind of crazy stunt in each Mission Impossible film, and he had to do another one. I think last film it was him hanging off of the plane. I think
and the one before it was him going to get a cup of coffee.
What the fuck?
I'm not a Tom Cruise fan.
I know you're not a Tom Cruise fan, but I think
not anymore anyway.
I don't know, man. I think the movie works. I think it does, and for me, I think that he works in the role. I think the stunts and I think the action scenes really popped. I think compared to a lot of other sort of action films that have come out, some in the summer here, this was actually, I think, one of the better ones. There's been some that have been kind of lackluster. This is one of the better ones that have come out.
For me, one of the better ones that we've seen in the last few weeks or last month or two.
Yeah.
Was that one with Jodie Foster?
Hotel Artemis.
Yes.
I think this had better stunts and action than Hotel Artemis
debatable.
did. I think so. I think the stunts are more dynamic. I think they have more money to play with. I think they went for broke more in this film. I did like that. I thought the plot was decent. I think there's been better plots in some of the other Mission Impossible movies. I think this was on the weaker side.
What killed me for this movie mostly was you kind of foresee the double cross or some kind of thing like there. It's kind of hard to get predictable with these movies anymore.
You see things coming. But nowadays, the whole thing of like, well, they're going to win, that's generally in any of these movies. They're going to win. It's not really a deal breaker for me,
I would have done it if this was going to be like the final one. You know, they got like 15 more planned ahead. If they were gonna do a final one, have him die at the end. You know, he does save the world, but he's like slowly dying as he saves the world.
This was supposed to be, I heard, the final one, and then Tom Cruise ended up saying, well, if this movie does really well, then you know, hey, we'll do another one. People want to see it. And so this movie has done really well at the box office, so be prepared for Mission Impossible 7, because it's coming. And
I will blow my brains out if that comes out.
Hey, we'll watch it. No, look, I think this franchise has been really good to Tom Cruise, and I think he still, I think, maintains that role of Ethan Hunt really well. And speaking of really nice trivia for a second, just to blow your mind here.
This thing you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, but I'm going to blow your mind right now. Tom Cruise is 5 years older than Wilford Brimley was when he filmed Cocoon.
Really?
Yes.
How old was Wilford Brimley?
I don't. He was old. He looked damn old.
Don't forget, he has diabetes.
Tom Cruise must be drinking somebody's blood, or he must be doing
don't
something.
forget, he did do Interview with the Vampire. He still must be channeling his Lestat.
He must be doing something, bathing in children's blood or something like that.
A sequel to that, showing older Lestat.
Or something like that. So just ponder that for a second. Wilford Brimley filming Cocoon. Tom Cruise is 5 years older than that.
That the first one, the original.
The original. Yes. That's fucking crazy.
He must have been in his like late 50s, early 60s.
He looked a hell of a lot older than that.
Chris, how old is Tom Cruise? Like 90?
That blows my mind, guys. That literally blows my mind.
Older than Alec Baldwin?
Well, speaking of Alec Baldwin, because we didn't really even talk about Alec Baldwin, I think Alec Baldwin does a great job in this movie.
The problem in this movie for his character, you know, when you get Stat as the boss character, you don't really get to do that much other than like, oh, here's the mission or
yeah, but
bullshit.
he does have a little small action scene, guys, and I thought that he did pretty cool for that action
He was
scene.
Steven Seagal. All right.
Oh, much better than Steven Seagal.
Later Steven Seagal. Before
much
he got really
better.
bad.
Alec Baldwin does much better at it than Steven Seagal does now. I thought he kicked ass in this role, and this was me remembering Alec Baldwin back in the day of like kicking ass. So he was awesome.
You know who
really
we can
was.
get next in the franchise?
What?
Get Danny Trejo in the next one. Ethan Hunt versus Machete.
Machete. Oh my god.
You know how much you love Machete.
Oh good lord. No, look, I mean, there was a lot of thrilling moments in this, and I do got to give it because Christopher McQuarrie directed this movie. He directed the last movie as well. He has a really great rapport with Tom Cruise. He has a really great he knows how to shoot action scenes really well.
Yeah.
He knows how to get the actors to do certain things. He's a really solid director, and I'm glad he came back to direct this movie. I don't know if he's going to come back to direct another one. Once you do, like, a couple of these Mission Impossible movies, I think you don't really...
By the time they're done, it'd be like Mission Impossible 39.
Yeah, you don't...
Hunt's Revenge.
I mean, you don't really need more. I will say this much. This movie does go in very dark places for the Ethan Hunt character, as far as him having to, almost kill innocent people and really go into dark territories.
See, that's the problem when you're undercover spies. Sometimes you have to do shit that crosses the line.
Yes, and he does not want to do that, and I understand his
Eventually he's gonna have to.
His moral quandary. I will say this much though, there is casualties and sacrifices in this movie. We won't say who it is, but I feel like if the series is to go moving forward, I think they're gonna have to do more of that. That's just my opinion.
I mean, I can name one or two characters just from this movie that can be killed off.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it because then it'll be a spoiler.
Oh, that's good point. So
I will say it's one female character, one male character.
Okay.
But they've been there for a while. So.
They've been there for a while, so it's kind of one of those things.
Makes me wonder what happened to all the other ones, like Jeremy Renner's character, Paula. I forget her last name. Paul Patton's character?
Oh, Paul Patton. God, so many characters in this series have sort of come and gone. I will say this. Jeremy Renner was actually, it was a scheduling conflict. He was actually filming Infinity War Part 2 or whatever they're going to call it. And so, or better yet, you know what happened? The main reason why he wasn't in this is that, well, he couldn't be in it because he got turned to dust in Infinity. No?
Keep it up, you're gonna get turned to dust.
Whoops.
Here's one point I gotta make out through this film.
Yeah.
When they get to the nuclear bomb, and mind you, the core is like a little metal container.
Yes, it's like a big metal ball almost, yeah.
You know, when they manage to save the day and all that, and, you know, things pop out, I'm like, you're just gonna let a container full of fucking, what was it, nuclear radiation or whatever.
Radiation, yeah.
You're just gonna let that pound on the ground? I'm like, you know, either they something like, I mean, I understand they make it so they can contain it, but it don't take much for something like that to pop open.
Okay, no, that's true. There is sort of moments where you're like, oh boy, really? And let me ask you one other question before we get to our grade rating here. Sometimes Ethan Hunt is a great hero, but he's only as great as the villain. So I was kind of curious as to what your thoughts were on the villain.
Which one?
Well, we can't spoil the other one. So we have to really say.
Who do you consider the primary, the one at the end, or the one before that?
Well, the one that was in the previous film.
Well, I didn't really watch the previous one.
Well, Solomon Lane there, the one that they're trying to.
He's kind of a blandish character for me, because I mean, he is like, oh, I created this group, you know, to cleanse the world of its old ways, to make a usher for new ways, but you know, there's got to be sacrifice, blah blah blah. I'm like, when you get to religious type stuff like that, it just gets kind of dull.
I do agree. Look, I will say this much. I don't think he was really the main villain. There is somebody else, but I won't spoil it. I think, as far as Solomon Lane is concerned, he was a little bit of weak sauce to me. I mean,
that, and it's like, you know, all these bad guys like, oh, I'm gonna hold you at bay, you know, I got your one weakness here, you know, I won't just kill you off right here. I'm like, could have fucking saved yourself the trouble and just killed them off right there.
There's so many times, and this gets me, guys, so many times where the bad guys, they go into this big like monologue or speech, and then they go into
every fucking superhero thing says this. They get into a monologue, and that's how they get defeated.
And here's the thing about it: it's not just like they do the monologue, but they also like, well, I won't kill you now. I'll save you for later. Like, and I'm thinking to myself,
if I were the bad guy and he's the good guy,
pop him.
Or either that, snap his neck.
Yeah, pop him in the head, guys. That solves a hell of a lot of your problems.
Even the secondary bad guy in this one had a chance to finish it early.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the main bad guy doesn't want you dead yet.
I'm dead yet. Like, really? Are we really? Whatever. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys.
This guy had multiple opportunities to take him out.
Multiple opportunities to take him out, but absolutely nothing. Trust me, it's ridiculous. All right, so what is your final thoughts and grade rating on Mission Impossible Fallout, sir?
Well, it didn't seem for me in this movie. You know how they always have the giant tech stuff? You know, like gadgets and shit.
Oh yeah, all the gadgets.
Felt kind of a little bit lacking in some areas.
You actually are right, because it is lacking. Yes, you still got some of the cool like rubber masks, and you still got some of the tech stuff a little bit, but it wasn't as savvy as some of the previous ones.
Compared to like the first few movies, they did a ton of it.
Yeah, this
one felt very lacking.
Not so much, no.
I thought some of the action scenes were kind of weak. Like, let's see, the whole helicopter chase scene near the end, it just felt like it didn't feel effective enough for me.
You didn't like it?
I thought, well, there's that one scene you've seen in the trailer where he's like about to hit some kind of truck or something, and they never even do that.
No, they actually
I missed it.
No, they actually did. It was in that sort of chase scene where he's on the bike and he's sort of chasing. He's trying to get away from the cops, and he sort of looks back, and there's this truck coming, and he slides into it, and he tumbles.
Well, let me ask you this, because it happens to not one but two characters in this movie.
Yeah.
Two of them get hit by a fucking car, and they just get up and walk away.
Speaking of that, you're right. I mean, even think about the whole like helicopter scene and what happens and the crash and everything like that. Talk about like should have had like broken bones, or
are they super soldiers or something?
Super soldiers, or people getting like...
I get hit in a car, like almost every bone in my body will be broken.
Like strangulations, and people should be dead, and they're not
hanged to death.
Hanged to death, and they're not dead, and or people that get shot and you think they got shot in the head or something, but they really didn't, and it's a lot of like people are like very superhuman in it. I mean, look, I'm okay with it because this is number 6 in the franchise.
Don't forget, this is also a Tom Cruise movie. You know, he can get away with it. I had to say it.
Oh boy.
I could be partially because of the mummy thing. You know.
You really hated that. Well, we both did. What can I tell
It
you?
wasn't a great movie.
It really
They
sucked.
should have just called it the Tom Cruise movie.
They should have. It probably would have. It would have made more sense.
I was just waiting for Ethan Hunt to start staring. You know,
Staring.
do time jumps.
right at the mummy itself and be like, I chose to accept my mission.
The movie's pretty much cut and dry. I mean, in terms of plot.
Yeah.
And like you said, all the surprise stuff, it's just like it wasn't that surprising for me. I kind of predicted it.
Yeah.
There's nothing really sparked for me in this film. At least not anything major. I mean, other than watching them get their ass kicked in the bathroom scene, which made me kind of laugh a little bit. I thought this movie was okay. You know, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. I mean, the only thing I thought was exceptional was the scene locations.
Which looked beautiful and gorgeous, and there's a hell of a lot of great scenery in the movie.
Other than that, this movie didn't really pop enough for me. You know, it didn't really keep me entertained well enough.
Okay.
Compared to like the first 2 movies.
All right. So what's your grade rating then, sir?
If it wasn't all those positive things I said, I probably would have given this movie an F. But I'd have to say solid C-.
Okay. Look, I will say this for me, that I do really think that this Mission Impossible movie, there's a lot of great action in it. I think the acting's good. I think that plot's a little weak. I think the villain's a little weak, but I think beyond that, it's a pretty effective film. Where does it rank with the other Mission Impossible movies? Oh man, I have a soft spot for 3. I like 3. Even though people shit on 2, I really like 2. I think 2 is actually really cool. 1's really great. It's hard to pick for me. I like them all,
So
really.
you have to say probably like 4 is your low point.
I think 4 to me might be the low point. Actually, you know what? That's not true. I think 5, I wasn't a huge fan of 5. I thought 5 was okay. I liked 5 well enough, but it's either 4 or 5. But, like, I still think they're all really dynamic films. I still really like the Ethan Hunt character. I think Tom Cruise really fits in this role still really well to this day. And, yeah, he must be drinking ghost blood or something, because he's, the man don't age for shit. But, yeah, for me, though, I will probably say I will give this movie a low, B+. So I'm definitely higher than you. I definitely enjoyed it more, but these movies, I'm sort of used to it. I'm used to Tom Cruise. I'm used to the speed of him being this character, so I do like it. And I didn't tell you, but I had a secret mission that you were not a part of, sir. So guys, we'll be back next time for another movie review.
Time to die, bitch.